what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Reyes Jr. And today we have a special show. We got boxing's top 10 pound for pound list. And I'm joined with three other boxing fans. We got K-Rod, we got Tim, aka Skywalker, and we got TJ, aka the Boxing Syndicate. What up, guys?
What's going on, bro?
What's up? How's it going?
Thank you guys for joining me. There's been a lot of social media boxing lists out there for their pound for pound, so we had to jump in and do our own take and to see, what are our top 10. And I know from my personal experience, coming up with that list was definitely challenging. A lot of different criteria, so I'm excited to see what you guys came up with. So without further ado, let's start off with everyone's number 10 fighter. We'll start with you, K-Rod. Who's your number 10 pound for pound?
For my number 10, I got Mr. Gary Antoine Russell. He's at my number 10.
Definitely talented. All right, TJ, who's your number 10?
Number 10, I had it was
a tough one for me. I put Bibble down there, and I put / Josh Taylor too. So it was a tough one for me. Yeah.
You got a tie. So you got Bibble and Taylor kind of in there.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Tim?
All right, my top 10 is kind of controversial. Everybody's gonna trip on it, but it's Bud Crawford, Terrence Bud Crawford.
All right, that's definitely going to we're gonna have to talk about that later. I can already see people skip in the comments. So my number 10 is Arthur Beterbiev. I had Bibble at 10, but just based on Beterbiev's performance against Joe Smith Jr., he bumped Bibble out, and Beterbiev comes in at 10. All right. So, K-Rod, back to you. Who's your number 9?
Number 9, I have Mr. Stephen Coolboy Steph Fulton.
All right.
I like that pick.
I like that pick a lot. All right, TJ, who's your number 9?
Yeah, man, I put Beterbiev at 9.
I had Beterbiev put in there, especially after that last fight he just had with Joe Smith. He just
kind of
definitely
impressed me. Obviously I knew
he was good, but then you put him against somebody who really can fight. Then he showed out again. So,
all right, love that pick. All right, Tim, you're number 9.
I got number 9. I got Tank Davis. I got him on there. Real talent, real powerful, high KO ratio. Got him at number 9 though.
All right, dig it. All right, and my number 9 is Josh Taylor. He was higher on my list, but after that performance against Jack Catherall, he drops down a couple spots, so placing him at number 9. All right, number 8, K-Rod.
Yes, for my number 8, I have Mr. Dimitri Bivol at number 8.
All right. TJ, who's your number 8?
I got Shakur at number 8. You already know I'm
a big Shakur fan anyway, so I definitely got him then. He unified now, so I put that into consideration too. So
2 division and unified.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, who's your number 8?
My number 8 is close to the brother right here. It's Arthur Beterbiev. Great performance with Joe Smith, just annihilated him. He needs one more strap with Bivol to become undisputed. So he's killing it, bro. 18. He's 100% KO ratio. So yeah, he's a beast.
That's something scary. My number 8, I got Devin Haney. Recently just became undisputed. His weight class went all the way to Australia to put a masterclass performance, so he makes my list. So I got Haney. All right, K-Rod, you're number 7. K-Rod, you're number 7?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Number 7, I have Mr. Subriel Matias for number 7.
That's all right. We have to talk about that one too. TJ, you're number 7.
7. I got Devin Haney.
Me too. I got Devin Haney.
What did I have up on? I think I put Slash him too.
I think I had Slash Tank on there, but I think I erased it too. But Devin Haney, obviously undisputed. I feel like he got to be on the list. So.
Agreed. All right, Tim, you're number 7.
I got cool boy Steph Fulton. He's killing it. He's unified. He's got Ahmad Aliyev. He's got to worry about him and become undisputed right away. So I got him on the list at number 7. Cool boy Steph.
Awesome. All right, that's a great pick. My next one at number 7 is Jermell Charlo, who just recently became undisputed as well. Was a guy that's been just basically unifying and becoming undisputed the right way, just going after each champion. So Jermell Charlo, number 7. All right, time for number 6, K-Rod.
Yeah, for number 6, I got Devin Haney at number 6.
All right, Devin Haney. TJ?
Yeah, 6, I had Charlo, too. I put 6. Charlo at
6, obviously, he undisputed. I felt like he had to be on there. And I actually like the cool boy Steph, too. I didn't really think of him when I was making my list, but I actually, if I could remake it now, I probably would put him somewhere in there, too. But I got Charlo at 6, though.
Yeah, I hear it, man. Cool boy Steph was on the cusp of my list as well. Tim, what's your numbers? What's your at 6?
Yeah, Mel Carlo and his brother. Right. Mel Carlo, undisputed. War with Castano. Jason Rosario. He's been doing his thing. He had his battle. He's my only fighter on my pound for pound list that's got a loss on his record. But he avenged it with Tony Harrison, and then he had a tough battle with the 2 battles, man. So I have to give it to Jermell Charlo, man. He's doing his thing. He's doing a little better than his big brother right now. But Jermell Charlo, number 6.
All right, perfect. All right, well, my number 6 may be controversial because I've seen some of your number ones on your list here, but I got Errol Spence Jr. For my number 6. Very talented fighter. I think what's holding him back on my pound for pound list is the fact he's only fought at 147. That's the only division he's campaigned at, where a lot of the guys that are higher on my list are multi-division champions. But definitely Spence got to be on everybody's pound for pound, in my opinion. Right. All right, number 5, K-Rod.
Yeah, for my number 5, I got Mr. Shakur Stevenson for my number 5.
All right, TJ, your number 5?
Yeah, my number 5 is Spence, too. I put Spence like it was basically the same reason. He only
fought at 147. That's really the only reason that he's that low, you know what I mean? Because obviously he's one of the best fighters out there, you know what I'm saying? So that's really why he's that low. But Spence, yeah.
All right, Tim, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is Shakur Stevenson. If this were to be an eye test, I have him higher because he looks like the goods. He's young. He's really young still, but what he's accomplished with his young age is amazing. Silver medalist in the 2016 Olympics. He's a two weight division champion, a unified champion right now. Took out Valdez like nothing, you know what I mean? And his next fight, he's going to be fighting Robson Conteo. He's tough too, man. And I just think nobody can beat Shakur at 130 right now, man. So, Shakur, I have him at number 5 too, man.
I agree with that.
All right,
I think in like
pencil me in. Go ahead, TJ.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
I think in like 2 or 3 years, Shakur is the top 3 dudes. Yeah.
Definitely. And I have a number 5 as well, Shakur Stevenson. For all the reasons you got mentioned, like the eye test, he has not been close to defeat any single fight, and he's made a top contender like Joey Gonzalez look like nobody. And we've seen Joey Gonzalez post Shakur Stevenson actually being some competitive fights, and then Oscar Valdez was in wars, tried and true champion, and again he looked ordinary against Shakur Stevenson. So special talent in Stevenson, we can all agree there. All right, K-Rod, what's your number 4?
Yeah, for my number 4, I have Mr. Jermell Charlo.
All right, perfect. TJ, your number 4?
Yeah, my number 4.
I got
in a way.
Monster.
Yeah.
Tim, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Devin Haney, the Dream. Call him the email champ. But you know what, man? His backstory is amazing. His dad, man, brought him up in boxing. You see young videos of him going to Zab Judah fight, holding belts. And he's been boxing since he's little, man. His dad put him as a professional in Mexico, fought bigger fighters. He's got great defense, the best jab boxing. A lot of people wanted to duck him, like Lomachenko. He vacated and became the franchise champion for the WBC. But he's always chased the fight, man, and I'm glad he finally got the opportunity to become undisputed. He went across to across the pond, kind of like how Spence went across the pond with Kell Brook. You know what I mean? He did the same thing. He got those straps. He represented the United States well. I really do think that he's the goods, man. He's gonna hold them belts for a while. Unless Shakur moves up.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, Haney's the guy that beat the guy that beat the guy, so definitely has a case to be on the pound list.
The top number 4.
Absolutely. My number 4 is Usyk. So, undisputed at cruiserweight, and then moving up and weight to heavyweight, and in 3 fights beating Anthony Joshua. Definitely pound for pound worthy. All right, number 3, K-Rod.
Yeah, for number 3, I got Gervonta Tank Davis.
All right, TJ, your number 3.
Number 3, I had Usyk /
Geron in the 70. Tough one for me too. I know he really haven't fought nobody yet, but just off the eye test alone, I think him and Shakur are the top 2 guys in the next 2 or 3 years.
You got Slash Boots?
Yeah, Usyk /
All right.
Yeah.
Tim, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Naoya Inoue. Awesome, amazing fighter. The way he beat Donaire his last fight, it's untouchable, man. They call him the monster for a reason. So I got him as my number 3 spot. He's gonna become undisputed pretty soon. So yeah, it's unified.
Yeah,
It's killer, bro.
I also have Inoue as my number 3. 3-division champ, and just recently did light work of a very competitive first fight against Donaire to become, now unified in that division. So definitely looking forward to Inoue continuing his boxing career. All right, now we get into our top 2. So number 2, K-Rod.
For my number 2, I got Jaron Ennis.
TJ, your number 2?
Number 2, I kept Canelo in there, man, at 2.
Still undisputed at 168. Obviously, he just took that L at 175. This was a controversial number 2 for me, but I am a Canelo fan. I still think he's, he's still that guy. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't think he can beat Bivol again. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. But I think, I do think he's still like one of the best out there. So I do got him at 2.
All right, for sure. Tim, your number 2?
I got Alexander Usyk, Mr. Cruiserweight, fought 3 fights at heavyweight, took out AJ. They're gonna have the rematch soon. Real talented boxer. Went through a lot of dance classes, so he's got great footwork for a big guy. I see him hard to beat. The way he beat AJ. I think AJ's gonna do it, but there's possibility. I don't know. AJ's still tough to do. But I got Usyk at number 2.
All right, and my number 2, I'm going to also go with TJ and still put Canelo there. So I know we talked TJ right after that loss to Bivol, and I was on the fence about like him still being the number 1 guy. But I do think with that loss, he has to drop down. But it doesn't diminish the fact he's a 4-division champion. From 154 pounds to 175, he was unified in 3, lineal titles in 2, and was the first fighter to actually become undisputed at super middleweight. So I think with those accomplishments, he still has to be in the top 3, in my opinion. So I got him at number 2. All right, K-Rod, You're number one. Who's the best pound for pound?
Yeah, my number one is Errol Spence. He's at my number one.
All right, TJ, you're number one.
Oh yeah, I got Bud at number one, man. You know, he obviously his talent speaks for itself. You know what I mean?
But I can understand some controversy with that number one for sure. But I think right now he's the top guy.
All right, Tim, you're number one.
Big Fish, EJ, the Truth, Errol Spence Jr. I just like the way he's been moving, man. Like he's going one by one. Yeah, he's been at the same division, but to me, he's got the better resume, more of the names. Even Bud admitted that, you know, Bob's held him back, you know, from fighting the bigger names, and that's why he left. And you know, he's at number 10 on my list because all the fighters in my top 10 are Unify champions or soon to be undisputed champions. That's the way I made my list. So that's the reason I put Bud at the end, because I was debating on Tank and him, but I like the way Tank fights. My eye test, you know what I mean? If I look at both of them, Tank to me is like, you know, the complete package. Bud to me, the best counter puncher boxing game, like out of nowhere. Like he just sets your ass up and he'll catch you, you know what I mean? He's got power, he's got good boxing, good defense, he's got good skill, but I think Spence is the bigger fighter, you know what I'm saying? You know, Bud started out as lightweight, you know what I mean? And EJ's always been at 147. They always call Spence a weight bully. They always say that his punches hurt, but man, to me, I just think he's been doing the right thing, man. That's what you should do in boxing. If you're a boxing fan, you want to be the man, you go get each belt individually. You don't want to, you know what I mean? You don't want no controversy. You don't want to duck nobody. You always want to fight that good fight, and I think he's been doing that. And went across the pond, got Kell Brook. I know that Bud has fought some of the same fighters as Porter and Brook and stuff like that, but well, we'll see if they fight, man. You know.
I hope we see it. So yeah, my number one pound for pound, I got Crawford as well. You know, I could definitely see the knocks on Crawford. You know, he was undisputed at 140, but then enough people question the names at 140 at the time he became undisputed. You know, there was no Prograis, no Josh Taylor, no Jose Ramirez, you know, at that time. But you know, he's fought the champions in front of him, and he's looked good fighting them. And I think if he can beat Spence, then he would definitely solidify his number one spot. For me, Spence to become number one, he has to beat Crawford and then win a title 154, and then he can have a more solid argument for number one. But you know, other than that, I saw a list. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go through each one's list 1 through 10, and then I'll let everyone else kind of comment and maybe get some feedback for, you know, why a certain fighter was placed number one there. So let's start with K-Rod's list. So we got top to bottom, we got Spence, Ennis, Tank Davis, Jermell Charlo, Shakur Stevenson, David Haney, Matias, Bivol, Fulton, and Gary Antoine Russell. So for me, I think that my only question is, like, I can definitely see Gary Antoine Russell, you know, being at 10. You know, he's fought a common opponent with Josh Taylor and did something that Josh Taylor couldn't do, which was knock out Victor Postal. And also Jose Ramirez fought Postal and couldn't do what Gary Antoine Russell, you know, did. But for me, I think Matias at 7 was a surprising one, because I told Tim, I was like, I hadn't even heard of Matias. Right. So maybe, K-Rod, if you can give me some education on who is Matias and why is he so high on your list?
Why would Gary Antoine Russell? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Well, so Tim wants to know why Gary Antoine Russell was 10.
Yeah. How can you do that?
Yeah, well.
Matias got a loss, bro. Gary Antoine's undefeated.
Yeah, but I'm not doing like my pound of like I don't rate like my pound for pound based off of the resume. Like
you're basing on
yeah. Like I judge like my pound for pound based off of skill. So I just basically look at it from like a stylistic point of view to picture it inside my head if they were like if they were in the same weight class or if they were to be fictionally matched up against each other. That's just how I see that fight going, like basically toe to toe. So
very, very interesting. So your list is basically strictly skill, and the guy above would beat the guy below if they fought.
Yeah, I just think from like a stylistic point of view, Gary Antoine Russell, he's a good fighter. I'm not gonna take anything away from him. I think that the whole Russell family is supremely stacked in skill, but I just need to see more from him just to see how I could compare his styles to a guy like Bivol or Fulton, because I do believe those type of styles can definitely haunt him in terms of just like the boxing like ability, because he has great boxing ability, but I think like the biggest takeaway from it is just his ring IQ. I think he can fix up on those holes more, and I think Gary Antoine can be that type of guy to dominate a lot of names that we haven't really like come to mind to think that he can potentially beat them. So I think just by looking at his style, it's on a it's on a developmental stage, but I think eventually we're gonna start seeing him turn into like a more veteran style type of fighter where he's gonna become like a bigger threat. To which I can definitely see him being higher in that pound for pound listing.
Oh, definitely. Any other comments before we move on to TJ's list?
No.
All right, let's go on to TJ's list now. So again, top to bottom, we got Crawford, Canelo, and actually this should be a top 12 list, TJ, because then we got Usyk/Boots, and then we got Inoue, Spence, Charlo, Haney, Stevenson, Beterbiev, and Bivol/Taylor. So any comments for clarification on that list? For me, it's like Boots higher than Spence.
Yeah, and I understand
why you say that, because obviously, you know what I mean. It's just I'm a little biased right there. That's just me. That's just my bias off the eye test and what I know his future is gonna look like. So that's just that's just me being biased. That's just me being he's just one of my top 3 guys to watch right now, kind of thing.
Using that future side, TJ, seeing him 5 years from now. K-Rod, Tim, any comments for TJ's list?
I just want to ask you. Oh,
go ahead, K-Rod.
I just wanted to ask, in regards of you putting Bud, in your number 1 pound for pound spot. Do you just say that just as far as what Bud has done in in his whole career, or do you see something skill wise that makes Bud a pound for pound number 1 type of fighter? Because if so, could we have seen that in Bud's previous careers, up against the top tier level opposition, where he could have be a guy I'll just use Adrian Broner or a prime version of Sean Porter or a Keith Thurman, Kell Brook in his prime before he got into his eye injuries. To me, I would have liked to see that out of Crawford if he had done that, but it just kind of questions me that knowing that Crawford didn't do that. That's why that I have a bit of concerns about people putting him down for pound number 1. So I just wanted to get your take on that.
I know, yeah, for
sure. Now that's why I was I understand why it's controversial. But Jose went along when he said he was his pound for pound too. It just kind of go he fought the guys, the champions in front of him. You know what I mean? At the time, you know what I mean. So I definitely understand what you're saying too. If he would have got those guys in their prime when he was coming up, could he have beat them? You never, you know what I mean. We just never know. But I definitely think right now, just the guys they put in front of him, and it's a stylistic thing too. I just kind of like the way he fights. I like the way he dominates fights. I like the way he just he looks in his fights too. So that's kind of why I had him number 1.
Yeah, and I'll chime in as well because I got him in my number 1. And for me, it's more so the eye test and the accolades for why I have him there. He's the only other 3-division champ besides Canelo and Inoue in my list, and he also was undisputed at his previous weight class, And the common opponents that he has shared with other great boxers, you got, Khan, you got Brooke, you got, recently Sean Porter. He's looked really good, and he's handled them better than the other top fighters in that division. So I think that's why I go with him. And, I think your points still are valid, K-Rod, that he isn't fighting the same fighter as these other great fighters. So it wasn't the same version of Sean Porter that, maybe Errol Spence fought. It definitely wasn't the same version of Brooke. So you can take that away from him. But from the eye test, he's shown a lot of good boxing IQ. And he's a great finisher. I think once he has his opponents hurt, he knows how to take him out. So that's why I got him as my number one. All right. Let's move on now to Tim's list. So again, top to bottom, we got Spence, Usyk, Inoue, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Jermell Charlo, Steph Fulton, Beterbiev, Tank Davis, and Bud Crawford. All right. And anything you want him to comment on?
I think we got to know why you got Bud at 10.
Hey, my about the current, now he's a WBO champ. I got everybody on my list that's like doing, that are in the right direction of doing things currently. I don't have Canelo on my list because he's coming off a loss. I don't have nobody on my pound for pound list that's coming off a loss. This is like the list that's like I have an exception. Jermell took a loss with Tony Harrison on my list, but he avenged his loss. So if Canelo were to rematch Bivol instead of fight Triple G, I would actually put him back in my list. But now that he's fighting Triple G, he won't ever be in my pound for pound list. I'm a white Mexican like him from the border, and I could be biased. I like Canelo, bro. I think he has skill. I think he should stay at 168. You know what I mean? And he's good, He's got the skills, but at 175 is too big for him, man. He's real short, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are monsters. Have you ever seen Beterbiev work out? There's like push-ups with his fingers, his arms. Yeah, he does pull-ups with his arms. Dude, he's a monster, bro. So yeah, Canelo, yeah, he's tough, bro. But and there's controversy, with the doping and all that stuff like that. I don't like that. Like, even with Spence too, he just caught that DUI charge. Everybody has, shit outside the ring. My uncle was a two-time featherweight. He dominated at 126 and 130 in the 70s and 80s. And you look at my uncle's resume on BoxRec, he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2016. But he fought everybody that was everybody, and that kind of reminds me of what Spence is doing. Like, I know he's been in one division, and yet hasn't done as much. Like, if you have a trophy case. Yeah, Crawford has a bigger trophy case, but I'm talking about currently who's hot and like who's in path to become great right now in boxing. That's how I determine my list. So that's why I don't have Canelo. I don't have Brock Taylor. My should have lost to Jack. Josh Taylor's undisputed. He's a beast too. He would have been on my list, but coming off that performance, so it's just right now. It's like the who's hot list right now. Right now, Spence has already sent the contract over. We're just waiting for Bud. So that's why I got him at the end too, man. I'm like, I'm just waiting for them to sign that damn contract. Let's get the fight to happen. I'm gonna go to it for sure. So.
Yeah, perfect. And I think my only question from your list, Tim, and also I think K-Rod, because you had him listed on here, is Tank Davis was just missed my top 10. I think he's a really great fighter. But I've heard that the argument made that he's only really moved up and fought for regular belts, not the super belts. And I think the WBA is a fault for creating two belts in these divisions. What do you say to kind of those skeptics of Tank Davis that say, yes, he's looked impressive, but he's only moved up very strategically and fought for the regular belt champion, not the super champion?
Yeah, because I don't really see Gervonta.
It's just the eye test. I mean, the eye test is the one for me.
So Tim, you're saying it's an eye test for you?
Yeah, he's only won one regular belt, IBF belt. He's only won. As you talking about regular, like super title, he's a regular. He's only a regular champion at WWA status, right? So
I think Barrios.
I want to see him. I think it's his promotion.
Yeah.
To me, I think it's promotion holding them back. They want to make money and their legacy, and hopefully Ellerby and all them can make these big fights happen. And because Tank is the goods. If you know boxing, you see him box. Damn, he's good, bro. He can run around the ring, and even when his hand was broke with Pitbull Cruz, everybody's like, oh yeah, he was boxing like shit. Dude, did you see his hand after the fight? His hand was swollen, bro, like that fat after the fight, bro. Like, I don't know how he finished the fight like that. So he's the type of fighter that if you trouble him, he can figure out a way to beat you. He has a real high IQ. And I don't see that. If it was like an eye test, like Shakur and him, you know, they all, man, have real high IQ. Haney had high IQ, man.
Yeah, and I will say with Tank though, he's been
that whole 130
fight. Yeah, the whole 135 is fire. And I do want to see Haney versus Tank Davis just so we can, you know, settle who's the top dog, because I think that's still, you know, Tank Davis is right there in the running. But he's like, Tank Davis is a guy that's been improving every single fight. I think in his early on in his career, he was pretty wild and, you know, gassing out early. I think now he's settling down. Calm. Yeah, I really like what he did with Rolly. You know, he really settled down, and once he got Rolly hurt, it was it. You know, very smart. Cool. All right, then with my go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. Like I was just gonna comment on Tank's championship, on legacy status. Like I only see him as like a one division world champion because like you can't count the secondary belts for the WBA straps to be considered as a champion. So, I mean, if anything, if he wants to claim it that way, he should go ahead and fight, the actual champions at 135 and 140, because I do believe, but the main reason for that is because of Leonard Ellerby and Floyd Mayweather trying to hold him back just to try to make money out of him. But Gervonta knows what he needs to do to hold himself valuable and valid in his career. So, if he wants to, be the man to beat everybody in all, respected divisions, then I think he needs to go ahead and do that, because you are a very, very good fighter. But for you to, be comfortable taking soft touches, that doesn't really help you. Like, if anything, it makes you more comfortable going into your fights because you're not expecting anything dangerous, coming back to you. That's a bad look. So if I'm Gervonta Davis, knowing that you're 27 right now, I would say go ahead and get Devin Haney out the way. And then if you want to go up to 140 and get belts up there, do that too. And honestly, I think Gervonta can easily beat a lot of top names that we don't think that he can win, but he's at that level where he can easily wipe everybody out if he wants to.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think him versus Rolly was a good test, at least for can he take a punch from a really known power puncher. Because if he moves up to 140, Prograis might still be there, and Prograis can definitely punch. But yeah, good points, Kieran. Now we'll go on to my list again, top to bottom. We got Crawford, Canelo, Inoue, Usyk, Shakur, Spence, Jermell Charlo, Haney, Josh Taylor, and Arthur Beterbiev. Any comments or call-outs?
I think it's a good list.
So I'll say one more time. It's Crawford, Canelo, Inoue, Usyk, Shakur, Spence, Jermell Charlo, Haney, Taylor, and Beterbiev. And yeah, I mean, the one thing, this was definitely a tough list to change. So for you, Tim, Taylor's not a top 10 because of his recent performance against Catterall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I still kept Taylor, because I was on the fence to have him either Vibble kind of make the list on here, but I kept Taylor just because he's, he did fight Jose Ramirez and looked very impressive. He fought Prograis, and that was a close competitive fight. He's done something that a lot of these other pound for pound fighters done, where it's he's fought the current champion for each strap, and he's fought convincingly. And I do think the Jack Catterall fight left a sour taste on a lot of boxing fans' mouth, myself included, because I think before that Jack Catterall fight, Josh Taylor was, top 5 pound per pound, at least on my eyes. With that loss and the way he's been moving since that loss, he's number 9, and he may lose to Jose Cepeda if his mind's not right, it's not training right. So, but for right now, I think it's more so the accolades being undisputed at 140.
Right.
Cool.
And that's how I could see his list too. It could be TJ, right? Is your name TJ?
Yeah.
His list is number 1 is Bard. Yeah, and then he has Spence at 10. It's almost a similar list, opposite welterweights. You know what I mean? But if my list was based off of who's done things, who's got a bigger trophy case, then I would have Bud, on top of my list. You know what I mean? That's my only reason. You know what I mean? That why I have my list switched around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what's awesome though is we each came up with this list independently. We weren't kind of bouncing ideas who's on your list, and the orders are pretty unique. There's a few on here where we got the same ones. Shakur Stevenson was 3 out of 4 is number 5. So I thought that's pretty cool. Canelo still being on there, Spence and Crawford. So I think
we had Jamel.
We all had Jamel on there as well. Steph Fulton was a good addition, I think, from you guys. So my closing cost would just be there's a lot of talent in boxing, and narrowing down to the top 10 is difficult. And I think as long as you go with your solid criteria, K-Rod was going with the eye test and skill, more not really current accolades. We can all agree on a pretty solid top 10. I think you guys did a great job. So it's a good job. Let's actually, I'm interested to see how the landscape changes in 6 months. We got to connect again at the end of the year and see who moved up, who entered the list.
Like you said, it's just so many good fighters. I can make a whole different top 10. I could probably make a new top 10 tomorrow with totally different people. You know what I mean? So it's just too many great guys out there.
Yeah,
absolutely. What are you gonna say, Tim?
I was just talking about cool stuff. I learned an interesting fact, man. Because I was going over each fighter to determine, how they can make the list. But what caught my attention on Cool Boy Steph to put him on my number 7 spot was fought 9 undefeated fighters, bro. In his box rec, if you count undefeated fighters, bro, I know that they might not be the biggest names, but they're undefeated, man. They haven't taken an L. It's beating 9, bro. 9. Figueroa, but there's nine fighters on his box rec with perfect records that he broke. So he's a problem, bro. Ahmed Dalia was gonna have a problem with him.
He is
based off his performance last. Yeah. Because Ronnie Rios was
Fulton
whooping
MJ
him in the 5th round, man.
Yeah. And then the common opponent, Danny Roman, MJ struggled with Danny Roman, and it was easy work for Fulton. So we'll see.
Right. Good.
Awesome, guys. We'll close it out, but before we close it out, I want to give you guys an opportunity to kind of shout out your channel where people can find you. So, K-Rod, where can people find you and follow you, subscribe to you?
For me, y'all can find me over at KRod7435. That's my regular YouTube channel. I also have a podcasting channel that I also do. That's in the description of my videos, and I also have Instagram. If you guys want to go check me out, Kieran Rodriguez 6. And that's pretty much it. I just mainly post a lot of sports and gaming content, and that's what I like to do. So. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you, K-Rod. And TJ, where can people find you?
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at the
Boxing Syndicate. Then, we post all the boxing, up-to-date news, all that type of stuff. Highlights, knockouts, all that type of thing. So.
That's what's up. All right, Tim, where can people find you and follow you?
You can find me on YouTube at Skywalker #TWT. Stands for the winning team. We're a little boxing community on YouTube. Talk boxing. I'll be dropping weekly short videos. I'm a high-rise window cleaner, so I'll be way up in the air, 20 stories, and I jump on panels when I'm taking my little breaks in the air, and I trip everybody out. So I'm planning on doing like post-fight or pre-fight prediction videos, short little 10-minute videos from the clouds, you know, on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, boxing the number 4 life Tim on Instagram, and that's where you can find me on Instagram or YouTube. And it was a pleasure,
if
guys.
I'm on that panel and you're up in there, I might have to block you out because I'm afraid of heights, so I'm gonna be like, can't see Tim while he's up there.
You a good one, bro.
Scared of heights.
All right, guys. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Everyone, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again real soon with some more boxing content. Later, guys.
All right.